my friends, have we had presidents until now? If we have, they have been invisible and mute. From the Daily Wire, leaders of member nations that belong to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, pledged their unwavering commitment to increasing their defense spending of the organization after President Donald Trump slammed the group for treating the United States unfairly. The commitment from European leaders came after Trump publicly embarrassed NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg during a meeting early on Wednesday morning. Fox News reports the U.S. and European allies signed a declaration stating that they are committed to improving the balance of sharing the costs and responsibilities of alliance membership. The declaration comes after confrontational and testy discussions between Trump and other NATO leaders. Quote, so we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all these countries, Trump said, and then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia. So are we supposed to protect you against Russia? You tell me if that's appropriate, Trump continued. This has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it, unquote, and that's the point. Where was Barack Obama while this outrage was happening? Because it was happening throughout all 8 years of his woe-begotten presidency. Where was George W. Bush? Where was William Jefferson Clinton? Where was the first Bush? You go back more than 2 decades, America's been getting ripped off, used and abused by NATO, and where were the members of Congress? Where were the presidents? Where was anyone in whom we invest power and trust saying this has got to stop because it's wrong, it's stupid, and it's insane? No one said that. No one raised an eyebrow. No one lifted a finger until Donald J. Trump. And so, if you want to know why I am so zealous in my support for this president, it's because he brings intelligence, common sense, logic to the table. And man, oh man, have those things been missing from Washington for decades and decades and decades. Finally, someone is standing up for America and Americans, and that explains everything you need to know about why the swamp hates his guts. Because he represents us, and they represent themselves. Think about that while we go to a commercial, which we are about to go to. And then think about whether or not you really want someone else, one of the phony, baloney, hack politicians who do nothing, promise everything, and accomplish zilch. You want them in charge? It's Thursday. It's Real Truth. I'll be right back.
Driving a vehicle with a building and suffers from tired of waiting to get your vehicle repaired. Dentists specialize in the painless difficult repair. And unlike traditional body shops, dentists you get your vehicle back to you in days, not weeks. Insurance and top quality repair with a lifetime fee. Close this day for your immediate appointment. 970-541-679, 970-541-0679, or look us up at dentistry.com. Obamacare must be repealed. Premiums have risen as much as 100%. Victor Nixon, the House Senate business man running for Colorado governor. I plan to repeal the exchange here in Colorado and replace it with a patient-centered health care plan where patients can access affordable care. There's a number of different dynamic clinics around the country that are doing extraordinary work, mostly through nurse practitioners, things like mammograms and colonoscopies and all types of blood work, and even testing for mental health, and doing it very affordably. This means taking on trials. This means transparency in pricing. So when you go into a service provider, a clinic, you see what the cash prices and the insurance prices are right when you visit. There's so much more that we can do, but we're not looking at our problems properly. Learn more about this service solutions for healthcare in Colorado at fixforgov.com. Paid for by Coloradans for Victor Nixon.
All right, guys, I am back. And you're back, so we're all back. So let's get something done today. Steve Bannon was on Sean Hannity's show last night on Fox. They were talking about how Donald Trump basically kicked ass among the phony baloney politicians from Europe who make up NATO. Let's listen to what Hannity and Bannon had to say. Excuse me, schmuck. If Germany gets 70% of its energy from Russia, and Russia stops sending them energy, Germany's cooked, which means they're a captive. Well, that's the way an idiot would describe it. How about saying Trump is seeing to it that America has been ripped off for decades and that it stops? That is exactly why we elected him, to disrupt the old order, because the old order was choking America to death. Well, Chris Matthews is a rectum, and so no, for him it's not good because he's got nothing to talk about anymore. For America, it's fantastic. If anyone out there in my listening audience is also listening to Chris Matthews, you need a neck-up checkup.
He's down here in London.
And my friends, this is why Colorado, which is a state that will forever be shamed by the fact that it went for Hillary in the last presidential election, if you want to wash off some of that stain, go out and vote for Trump. Take your family members to vote for Trump. Take your friends to vote for Trump. Take your friends, your co-workers to vote for Trump. When I say Trump, I mean the Republicans, the supporters of Trump. Vote Republican in large numbers, and we can continue to make America great again. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Real Truth.
And of his fullness, we have all for peace and grace for grace. For the law was given for Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution. Even if the blocker planet was to remind us that the direct problem is well done. We know our kids will be in prosperity. We want to applaud the Youngster community who demonstrate they know the truth. They provide examples to their kids and families to be the the blocker planet of the serving our area 1943, but it's not in that flag. PhD and force and complete custom process. Total concrete church on the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Salute those who serve today. This reminder from Total Concrete First, the 4462 Hilltop Road in Columbus. Proud to serve the entire area and to work on behalf of our future. More information for 935 3780.
My friends, let me present to you Dr. James David Manning of Atla Ministries. Here we go. My friends, it was not lightly that I decided to do this radio show. It wasn't lightly that I decided to call it Real Truth. Because all good things, all holy things, all sanctified things, all godly things spring from truth. Where you don't have truth, you don't have God. You have angry God, but you don't have God. You don't have God's blessings. You've got to have truth, and the most important truths almost all the time are the hardest truths to speak. I can't tell you how much I respect Dr. Manning. His videos are all over YouTube. Watch them. Whatever the issue, he presents truth. And as you heard him say, with tears in his voice, not easy speaking truth because so many people just plain don't want to hear it. We'll be back.
How many times have you gone into a health food store and confused as to the many different brands? Hey, Howard, this is Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
I know I messed up on the fade coming in the last minute. Am I supposed to, do you want me to be fading in, way out?
No, what you did just now was fine. When you fade back in, when I come back on the air, don't let the music run too long. Cut it a few seconds shorter.
And what happened was, yeah, I made a mistake there. I knew. Just as you were coming out just now, I didn't know if Cody faded you in.
Not a problem. You're doing a great job. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep, I'll make sure to come out of these breaks a lot better than possible.
Beautiful. Thanks very much, Jason.
All right, hang on. 8765-4372. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just power from the consent of the government. This, the American Constitution.
Chaplain Collins LLC emergency first responders to the professional great. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us, so there's no thanks. So let's all take the time to thank our first responders for all they do for us. Also thanking our veterans for the sacrifice they made for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins LLC, with 10 locations in Denver and Fort Collins, serving the community for over 13 years. This is an online at chaplaincollins.com.
If catastrophe struck with your family, be prepared. Are you confident you will react in a panic? Is there one place to get all of your emergency supplies? Very Bible encourages you to have confidence through preparation, not panic through crisis. Very Bible, located at 3366 South Broadway, is a professional, reputable, full-service business providing quality, realistic preparedness supplies at an affordable price. Go online, stop by, or call 303-781-0343. Very Bible.
My friends, New York City is synonymous with Wall Street, with the Empire State Building. Los Angeles is synonymous with Hollywood. San Francisco increasingly is synonymous with crap. Here's Gutfeld on Fox News telling us about that.
Let's talk easy.
My friends, that is a wonderful description by Kennedy of a Democrat-run city. Decisions are awful. Expenses are far too high than they should be. All responsibility is taken off individuals and placed on taxpayers, and problems just get worse. New York is solid Democrat. San Francisco, solid Democrat. All those other cities that Greg Gutfeld mentioned, solid Democrat, and their oil, all toilets.
One serious question.
I have no desire to listen to Juan Williams. Once again, my friends, Seattle is another wonderful example. Democrat city headed full speed in the wrong direction, making brainless decisions and driving the tax base out. In city after city across the country, Democrats have ruined the quality of life, ruined otherwise strong economies, forced good people to flee, leaving semi-deserted toilets in their wake.
Kids walking amongst women.
People want to live in big cities, but when they get to big cities and see what it's really like living there, they head right back out. New York has been mostly destroyed. And I grew up in New York, mostly destroyed by a succession of Democrat leaders. Even Bloomberg, when he was mayor, he was a Republican in name only. He was really governing like a Democrat, and he was awful. When will Americans come to their senses, wake up and say, hey, when we put Democrats in charge, things only get worse? Really, when? You're not going to tell me. Okay. Well, hopefully this show is contributing to people waking up. Democrats have no answers, no policies that will fix problems, no way to make America better. They are the dark side of the moon. All they know how to do is go easy on criminals hand out immense amounts of welfare, and raise taxes. That is a recipe for the kind of disaster we're seeing in New York, San Francisco, and Detroit, and Chicago, and Seattle, and on and on and on. I will say it again as we go to a commercial break, my friends. Wean yourselves off of voting Democrat. You are pumping Clorox into your veins. And by the way, into your children's veins, too. We'll take a break and we'll come back. Don't touch that dial.
The United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Kim Kardashian, she of the large arse. Now, I don't really understand what the attraction is with Kim. Celebrity names, things like Apple, things like, you know, Tilly Fizz.
But as many as
I invite your camera crews to come with me and see who tells me to cover up my hair.
Who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Gospel of John, chapter 1,
So you're
verse
finding me
10
funny.
through 13.
This is the message I'm getting. Peaches Geldof is to me.
The American Freedom
Twitter's there for people that want to use it. If you don't like it, get off Twitter. It is only vanity that makes people read the damn thing until their eyes fall out of their head.
And Katie, you are extremely rude. We're the alternative in the mainstream society. You're totally prejudiced towards tattooed people.
Why? What? Because I'm a plain skin.
No, that's what happens to us. People instantly make the judgment though.
Because your
Like you
face is
said,
coloured, the sort of colour of a first class stamp, my chicken.
The reason why-
I totally disagree with that. The only thing you can do to stand out in life is colour your whole face in. That just makes you a kid with a crayon.
if one of you're doing a documentary out here about putting weight on.
Yeah, so I put on Allstone to prove that skinny people aren't lucky to be skinny, they just move around a lot, and that fat people are, in fact, lazy.
This message from American Window Tinting Incorporated in print. For attention, commercial 303-263-4228.
By the way, my friends, I expect that as soon as the show is over, you're going to go to my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. You're also going to go to my website, howardriell.com, R-I-E-L-L. You will find fantastic stuff there. That, I promise. Let's go to Kellyanne Conway, spokesperson for the president, on the North Lawn of the White House earlier today.
His counselor to the president is able to respond to some of the breaking news in the president's impromptu presser, at least that we didn't know about before. Kellyanne, do you think it was a wise move to do what the president did and break format, leave the Afghanistan meeting, meet the president out, and go back?
Accessible to the press on a regular basis, and including on these foreign trips and these multilateral summits. I also believe that him taking questions where there's no notes, no net, people see him in full. And the case that he is pressing at NATO is the case that everybody's going to hear. If you think about the one major thing, apart from patriotism and America first, that really undergirds this president's policy experiment. It undergirds his policies on education trends, on tax cuts, giving everybody tax reduction, for example, and his immigration policy. And now, of course, obviously trade, reciprocal fair trade agreements. And now, of course, with respect to NATO dues. Let's review the facts. Our country spends about 3.5 of its GDP on defense, on NATO. And we're one of 29 countries in NATO, but effectively, we approximate about 67% of the defense spending. All he's asking other countries to do is pony up, and not just show up, but also pony up. This is a reasonable request. This president can focus on being national security and economic security. Other countries will have to decide if their membership in NATO, what their domestic priorities are, are they more economic security or national security. But this president has made very clear and very successfully clear that he can focus on both. He's called for peace and prosperity around the globe. Obviously, he's thinking big, as he always does, talking about cures for diseases, peace everywhere. But peace to him means people paying their fair share for common defense, and also sitting down with Kim, sitting down with Putin, pulling out of the Iran, pulling out of the Paris Accords. Other presidents tried and vowed and almost insisted for 40 years. For 40 years, other presidents, right, left, and center, have been saying, pay your fair share, versus 2%. This president is actually
and that is key. This president, not the previous president, not his predecessor, not his predecessor, not his predecessor. This president is getting results for the American people.
He came out and he said all the nations agreed to
Well, here's what it means, Steve. It means France is a stupid country, a foolish, blind country, a liberal country. Look at what they've been doing since the French Revolution, the Reign of Terror. Look at the way they hunted and persecuted Jews for God knows how many years. Look at how they've opened their borders to migrants from the Third World who are now eating the country alive. So when Donald Trump talks about every country paying its fair share, France doesn't want to know about it. I think the best course to follow for the president would be simply to reduce the United States payments to 2%, which we're required to do. And if that makes France and other countries in Europe more susceptible to attack, well, that sucks.
Well, the president made clear that everybody has to go back to the summer of the
But more telling than that, my friends, I know you don't give a rat's ass about France any more than I do, but here's what you will care about. Donald Trump sits down with the people at NATO and says everyone should pay his fair share. Bing! He is set upon by the media in this country, the liberal media, like a pack of wild hyenas. What do you mean defending America, they ask. What do you mean insulting Europe, they ask. If Europe is raping us for decades now, that's okay with the liberals. It's okay with the Democrats. It's okay with the media. Because they feel America should be raped by other countries. That's the left. That's the liberals, who always, but always hate America and hate Americans. We got to cut the liberals out of the democratic process here in this country. We can't allow them to continue to be decision makers. They've got to be removed and replaced with Republicans, hopefully conservative Republicans, but Republicans nonetheless. Because as long as they stay in our government, they're like cancer cells staying in the body. They will metastasize and eventually kill the body. Liberals don't want America to succeed. Democrats don't want a strong America. They want a weak and pathetic America, which explains the Obama administration and tells you why Hillary Clinton would have been Ebola for this country. Let's take a break and we'll wrap it up. More Real Truth to come.
Essentially,
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, favor, and advance against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrant shall be made but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched, and the person or thing to be seen.
The board makes the council of the nation to nothing. It makes the plans of the people of that effect. The council of the Lord stands forever. The plans of its heart to all generations. Blessed is the nation whose God is the people he has chosen as the covenant here. Psalm 33 verses 10 through 12.
Chaplain Collins LLC is our emergency first responders to the professional commitment free. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us to fulfill their real thing. So let's all take the time to thank our first responders for all they do for us. Also thanking our veterans for their sacrifice and bravery for our freedom. This message is from Chaplain Collins LLC, with 2 locations in Denver and Fort Collins. Serving the community for over 13 years. Visit them online at chaplaincollins.com. Total concrete service online platforms. The men and women of our military dedication to serving our country. Their commitment encourages us to be safe and strong. Let us honor those who lost their lives in the line. The good news is there today. This reminder of Total Concrete Service at 4462 Hilltop Road in Conway, throughout the 30 and center area, and to work on behalf of our future. More information on 940-535-3780.
Guys, let me tell you, Dr. Michelle Cretella, MD, is the president of the American College of Pediatricians. We got 4 minutes left. Here's 2 minutes worth of Dr. Cretella explaining that transgenderism is nonsense. Here's Dr. Cretella.
wait, transgender ideology holds that people can be born
My friends, that is exactly correct. Dr. Curtella is precisely right. Liberals who are patting transgender people on the back and praising them for their bravery, they don't care about transgender people. And they know they're wacky. But it's a wedge, it's a club in their hands so that they can fight for what they will tell you is civil rights, human rights. In other words, they are more righteous than you are. That's what they want you to believe, and really that's what they're hoping to believe themselves. They know deep inside it's ridiculous. It's just one more thing for liberals to scream about. And as you can see, it doesn't take a whole hell of a lot of anything to get liberals to scream. Normally what gets them yelling is normalcy. Should we persecute transgender people? Of course not. Discriminate against them? Of course not. Insult them? Of course not. If we really care about them, we should get them the help that they very desperately need. Medical professionals will tell this to you. It's the open and obvious truth. We live in such a cynical time that we're suspicious of any open and obvious truth. But gender is binary. There's male and female, and there's no gray area in between. That's simply the fact. And as soon as we disabuse ourselves of the illusions and the notions, then we can get these transgender people the help they need. We are done for the week. I will be back on Monday with more real truth. I hope you'll be here too, my friends. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry.